Welcome on in, Arizona Cardinals faithful, all of our Cardinals fans. We got our first mock draft for you guys. This was a very, very fun one. Why was this a fun one? Mostly it's because I am one of the few, I'll be honest, I am a huge Oklahoma Sooner fan. So of course, you guys both having Hollywood and the great, phenomenal Kyler, I have a allegiance in I wouldn't say bias. I think they're absolutely amazing players as well. I also have a good buddy of mine who gives me some insights within the Arizona Cardinals facilities. So I use a lot of his intake, a lot of his knowledge to really paint a beautiful picture within this mock draft. We're going to get started. First things first, it's sad that I was on a plane, actually, so I went to the Senior Bowl, and I was talking to a former Arizona Cardinals writer, and he selfishly, arrogantly kind of got rid of the whole Kyler Murray agenda, kind of trying to make up an argument that they should be going quarterback in the second or third round. Absolutely foolish, absolutely disgusting. We're going to get Kyler back into that top 10 conversation easily. I think he's already there, just of course injuries. Marvin Harrison Jr., not going to waste too much time on this guy. He is going to be an absolute fan favorite. This is going to be another legend in the making of a Larry Fitzgerald. Of course, I know some of you might cringe of me saying that, but I think this kid has all of the tools to carry on the legacy of what his father was with the Indianapolis Colts and Marvin Harrison, but he can also emulate a lot of great things that Larry Fitzgerald also brought to the organization within the Arizona Cardinals. An overall grade of 89.9, 1,200 receiving yards in back-to-back seasons in 23 and 22, and 14 touchdowns in both of the last 2 years. The beautiful thing about him that I think a lot of people don't really take into account, in 2022, of course, he had the great, amazing Rookie of the Year in CJ Stroud. In 2023, he had a guy who is not great at football. And what it really showed me is that this kid has the ability to mimic statistics, to still have great statistics and still play at a high level regardless of the quarterback play. And with that being said, we're giving this kid Kyler Murray receiving grade at 89.6, crazy man coverage grade at 82.6. If you could beat man coverage, you're a future max contract player, and we already know he is going to be one. Fifth in deep yards with 598, deep catches, tied third in wide receivers with 15. It's really tough to really see what this kid can't do. I think he can do absolutely everything. I can go on and on and on, but we have a lot of players we got to get through. Real quick, my comp on him is a very athletic, very explosive Michael Thomas. A very explosive, very athletic Michael Thomas. Let me know in the comments what your comp would be. At the second pick in the first round, this guy was available in Tyler Guyton, Oklahoma right tackle. I think from what my buddy has told me is with Humphreys and his injuries, and then Paris Johnson Jr. having such an incredible rookie season, for Paris Johnson Jr. to head over to that left tackle position, and it wouldn't be crazy at all to bring in a young right tackle in Tyler Guyton to really fill in for that role. And you might be looking at the numbers right now and saying, oh, this is gross, 63, what is this, what's going on? I'm going to be very, very blunt with you guys. Like I said, I am an OU fan, and I understand the game of football very, very well. The quarterback very much held onto the ball a lot. And the running game within itself, the offense within itself, within the running game, it was not great. It wasn't, constructed well. We went through coaching changes. And so a lot of these players, their grades suffered. A lot of these players, they don't look as beautiful and as bright as can be just because of the situations that they had. But I promise you, when we went to the Senior Bowl, we saw all of 6'7", 6'8", 330 easily pounds of Tyler Guyton. That is a guy who was very athletic, very nimble, someone you're going to want in your corner for sure. And then in the second round, top of the second round, you guys are going to be getting my favorite player that is not Brock Bowers, and that's going to be T'Vondre Sweat, interior defensive lineman out of Texas. This kid's a bully. Another guy that went to the Senior Bowl, another guy that I had the privilege and honor in interviewing, even as an OU fan. He gave me the time of day. 6'4", 362 pounds. The reason why he went to the Senior Bowl was to really push himself into the back end of the first round, the beginning of the second round, and he did it. He was virtually unblockable. No one could block him. Look at this run defense grade, which is something that you guys desperately need. And I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world to go with him at that 27 spot in the first round over Tyler Guy and try to get another tackle potentially in the second round. I do not think you guys should be leaving this draft without T'Vondre Sweat. 92 run defensive grade, pass rush grade at 85.6, and true pass sets for an interior defender at 88.7. He is one of the ones. He's a guy that I have full-fledged faith that he is going to be one of the top players in the National Football League in due time. And then we head to the third round, where it wasn't, at this point in time, I was looking for value. I understand you guys have this history of drafting a lot of linebackers, but hopefully with the new regime, you don't do it in the first round. But Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M, I think what he's going to beautifully do is take the role of this Josh Woods guy. Didn't do great at all, didn't do phenomenal at all for you guys, and you guys got to stop the run. Look at Christian McCaffrey and what the 49ers are going to be able to be doing. Look at Mr. Kenneth Walker in Seattle, and you see what Mr. Kyron Williams did for the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be turning into a running league for that conference, and so getting Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker out of A&M, run defense grade at 87.6, pass rush grade at 86.4, coverage grade at 85.5 in the SEC. Let's keep everything into account of that. Missed tackles is at 11. Don't love it, but I understand the linebackers, that's going to happen a lot. Overall grade at 90.8. We love it. Moving to your second, third round pick. This is another kid that was at the Senior Bowl, and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. in the at the Senior Bowl. We did interview him. The vibe I got off of him, who also he left the week with multiple interceptions during the one-on-one drills, and actually I believe he won the defensive MVP for the actual Senior Bowl game with an interception. I cannot remember if it was a pick six or not. Apologies, Mr. Jarvis. But yeah, within the interview, a very likable kid. I asked him a question if he wanted to end the game on a pick, to where he got the interception and fell down, or if he ended the game on a certain play where he had a screen and he pops the running back and the ball goes flying and his buddy is able to pick it up and scoop and score. And he said, give me the pop so his teammates can score and they can get in the end zone. So really love him. Really great man press guy. Coverage grade at a 78.1. Zone coverage grade at a 78. Man coverage grade at a 61.7. Run defense grade at a 75.1. I think he does a lot of great things. I think you just guys need also flyers for the cornerback position for your team. And then we head to this is your third pick in the third round, and Marshawn Nealon, another Senior Bowl intendee. This guy is what you would call a quote-unquote tweener. I understand this is kind of the specimen that you guys also need at 6'3", 275 pounds for the 3-4 scheme that you guys play. He can definitely play the defensive interior position that you guys really construct your defense to. Pass rush grade of 84.7, run defense grade at 83.4. At the Senior Bowl, I want to be very, very truthfully honest with you guys. He definitely burst out in plays, but one thing I just didn't love is he only uses his power, which is not a bad thing. I just want to see him develop a few more moves. See if I think he's has more speed than he gives himself credit for. Really good with stunts, with hiding them, that is. I just think he has a lot more in his tool belt that the Cardinals are going to have to be able to get out of him. And so heading into the fourth round, now I don't think that this player is necessarily going to be there, but we're using the PFF mock draft and he is available. So we grab him. Cedric Van Pran, center out of Georgia. I definitely don't think this kid is going to be ending up in the fourth round, but all said is done. At the combine, I think he's going to kill it. I believe he is going to definitely climb up the ranks. But if all is being said, in the past two seasons, he's given up 0 sacks, and this is as a center in the SEC. Run block rated at 76.9, pass block rated 81.5. Guys, this is a center doing these numbers, and he is a big boy too. He's a big center standing at 6'4", 310 pounds. And we all know Kyler likes these big offensive linemen because they're able to hide them, and he's able to throw over them. True pass block rate at a 70.7. And we head over into the 5th round, pick 137, Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin. Miles, running back, what are you doing? Not saying that James Conner didn't play like a top 5 running back last year, because if you know football, understand football, and saw football, you would know that he definitely did play at a top 5 running back rate. But I just want to be very frank, very, take the sheep off the wool of your eyes, whatever the fuck that saying is. I can't remember what it is, but James Conner has a history, right? He has a history of getting hurt here and there, missing a few games here, missing a few games there. So I just don't think there's no huge problem getting a Wisconsin-style runner, a guy that's a bruiser. He has a lot of speed. He does stand a little bit too tall for my liking, but I love what this kid can bring, and he gets 12 touchdowns 2021, 11 touchdowns in 2022, and then another 12 in 23. Touchdowns translates to the NFL. So this would be a great addition into the running back room. He has great numbers. Zone grade is 73.5. Rushing grade is 78.6. Gap grade at a 78. So this is just going to be another weapon that you guys can definitely use when or if, James Conner has to sit out for a few games. Jalen Harrell in the 6th round. You guys are going to be picking up this dude, and this is a national champion. He's a stand-up edge rusher. So once again, really filtering that into the defense of the Arizona Cardinals. 21 quarterback hurries, 4 QB hits, 6 sacks. And the beautiful thing about that is, if you know Michigan, they rotate those guys like crazy. For him to get that on the snaps that he's gotten it, that's an absolute beautiful thing. And another great thing about this kid is that they use him in space. He's able to run with the running backs. He does so much. He is not a linebacker, but boy, did they use him as such at Michigan. So be on the lookout to have him be used in multiple ways. I think he's a versatile pass rusher. Pass rush grade at 85.7. Run defense grade, which is very, very important for you guys, at a 73.2. And then the pass rush win rate at a 19.7. That is very similar to Chop Robinson out in Penn State, who's getting a lot of praise. True pass rush grade at an 85.3. We head into the 7th round, and what we're going to do is we are not going to disrespect the name of Trey McBride whatsoever, but we are going to disrespect ever so slightly the name of Jeff Swain to get in Jared Wiley, TCU tight end. This kid is just very big. He's going to be a very healthy target at 6'7" for Mr. Kyler. Now, with Jeff Swain, his role really is to block. I think he does a really good job with blocking, and Jared Wiley doesn't necessarily, but that is a Big 12 tight end. He didn't have a lot of opportunities to block. He was very much standing up a lot of the time. He is a big effort guy. I think also with him being at the Senior Bowl, he did show his ability to block. That's just something that can be coached. And so he had 8 touchdowns in his final season. He's moved in line. He was outside a lot too as well. And so easy hands, only had 1 drop this year. Beautiful hands, has the ability to catch very well. So he's going to be a great, dual tight end goal line threat. Big one for you guys. And in the 7th round, we're gonna go to Texas to get Jordan Whittington, just a receiver, right? A big, strong receiver that's going to be able to block from time to time. And I just think he is going to just be able to really, really emulate a lot of great things within the rushing game and in special teams. I think he's going to be a special teams warrior. So just real quick, going through the entire draft again. Thank you guys for staying with me. Marvin Harrison Jr. in the 1st round, paired up with Tyler Guyton, Tavondre Sweat, interior defensive tackle out of Texas. You guys should not leave the draft without him. Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker out of Texas A&M. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. out of Louisville. Cornerback Marshawn Nealon, edge rusher out of Western Michigan. Cedric Van Pran in the 4th round, center out of Georgia. Hopefully he's there for you guys. I doubt it. Braylon Allen, running back out of Wisconsin. In the 5th, Jalen Harrell, edge rusher, that he can do it all. In the 6th round, Jared Wiley, tight end out of TCU. In the 7th, paired up with Jordan Whittington, big blocking special teams wide receiver out of Texas. Guys, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.